In this video, we're going to be discussing the pros and cons of attending the 21-day Vanquish Close Protection training program. So whilst you're going to be looking at other training providers, you're going to be thinking about what they offer and what we don't offer, perhaps. So what I'm here to do is to try and give an open, honest and transparent insight as to what the real pros and cons are from attending our course. So I'm going to give you the pros first. First of all, we only select between 4 to 6 candidates for each course, and that's at the time of making this video, January 2024. And that may change in the future, but as it stands, we only select between 4 and 6 candidates. That itself has many benefits. For example, during the course, you will be given the opportunity to enact the role of team leader, 2IC, second in command, the intelligence officer, and all of the other roles that are involved with close protection. In addition to that, you will have pretty much one-on-one access or access to the instructor that's very much not divided, as it were. So in other words, if you've got 6 people on a course and you're struggling, the tutor's not going to be stretched too much so as not to be able to deal with your specific requirements. One of the other benefits is that we do cater very much for people with dyslexia. We have several things or methods to get around this, and we do support people. We have an adjustment policy to help those who need special assistance with their exams at the end of the training program. The practical operations that take place throughout the course are based on real life scenarios. In other words, situations that Vanquish companies have had to deal with and have implemented them into the program so as to make it as realistic as we possibly can. That will include things like threats that are received prior to deployment so that you guys can analytically assess whether or not those threats are to be taken seriously using our threat assessment model, which you will learn prior to that time. It will also include the type of principals that we look after, namely executive, ultra high net worth individuals, and celebrities, and on the odd occasion, political figures. The last benefit that you will receive as a result of doing the course with Vanquish is that you will genuinely receive work opportunities. I've already covered the difference between am I guaranteed a job at the end of the course. The answer to that question is no. You are guaranteed, as long as you get through the process without any issues, you will receive work opportunities. And by the way, it's not only work opportunities in the country in which you do your course. We're a global organization, and so you will receive work opportunities from the country in which you operate as well as abroad. What are the downsides to doing a course with Vanquish? Well, first of all, there's an interview process. You can't simply book onto a Vanquish course. You have to go through a brief application followed by an interview and an assessment process, which then determines whether or not you will attend the course. So just to be clear on what that process is, fill out an application form online. Someone will call you for a telephone interview at a predetermined time of your choosing, and after that you will receive an email letting you know whether or not your application has been successful. Please bear in mind, as it says in all the promotional videos, we do typically receive somewhere between 80 to 100 applicants per course, and we only accept between 4 and 6. That is at the time of making this video in January 2024. That might change in the future, but that is what it is now. So that is a bit of an issue for most people. Why? It's because we only recruit from our own training programs, and we are looking for high quality candidates only. One of the other issues that people have typically with the Vanquish course is that there are fewer dates. Most other training providers will have 1 or 2 courses per month, whereas we only have somewhere between 3 to 4 each year maximum. So yes, unfortunately we do have fewer courses, but that's because we don't need as many operatives as we would like. Unfortunately, at this time, we only need to onboard somewhere between 12 to 16 per year. And so if we were to go over that, the reality is we would probably let a lot of people down with work opportunities, or dilute the work opportunities that they would receive, or reduce their likelihood of actually gaining those opportunities. Our course is quite serious. Whilst the instructors do try to have rapport with the learners, it is to be taken seriously throughout. We don't do things like practical driving scenarios. We don't do things like martial arts and things like that. We don't do live firearms training. So when you look at other training providers, you might see things that look really fun. We tend not to promote that. We do as best we can, but we try to keep it realistic and honest. What we don't want to do is say to people, look, you're going to be doing this and you're going to be wasting your time with things that we feel are irrelevant. Now, obviously, other training providers do it because that's what they do, and people tend to gravitate towards that. However, our course is not based on hostile environments. It's based upon the work that we do, which is non-hostile executives, ultra high net worth individuals, celebrities, sometimes political figures. It's not hostile in the sense that you are going to need to drive around a racetrack or throughout the streets of London or Toronto and, fire rounds at enemies and things like that. That's just not going to happen. So it's more sort of stoic than that. It's slightly more serious and perhaps less fun than some of the other training providers that are out there. And that kind of ties me into the next point. One of the downsides and one of the things I think that acts as a barrier to people applying for our course is that we don't do live firearms training or driving techniques. It's been outlined more than enough. I'm not going to exacerbate that point. Lastly, you will be constantly assessed. It is not an easy training program to attend when you've got so many different qualifications that you're going through and trying to learn. Things like advanced surveillance, technical surveillance, countermeasures, those are technically and theoretically heavy. And so it's difficult for us to not have to constantly assess you. We have crammed a lot into 21 days, but that's because we want to maximize your return on investment, but gain more work opportunities from companies within the Vanquish group. So I hope this video kind of evaluates the pros and cons. I'm sure there are many more. You'll obviously make your own decision as to what's right and wrong for you. But to summarize, I would say if you're looking for a course that's not hostile, because that is critical. If you're looking for a hostile environments course, this is not it, unfortunately. If you're looking for a course that gives you the license in your country, so UK, SIA, in Australia, the New South Wales Police, we're doing it in Sydney, which we will be. And if you're looking for your serial license in Dubai, then yes, our courses are the right courses to do, but it's not hostile. And it's difficult to kind of get this across to many people because I think a lot of close protection courses that are out there kind of steer towards either hostile, not hostile, or somewhere in between. We're not in between. We are a non-hostile close protection training program that focuses on intelligence acquisition, counterintelligence, technical surveillance countermeasures, which is important to maintain a safe environment for the principal, in addition to the overall close protection effort as well. But yeah, obviously the downsides are there, so please take them into account. Any close protection course is very expensive and it's a large investment. We recognize that. So we hope that before applying for our course, you taking that into account and are genuinely looking forward to attending one of ours. Thanks for watching. Best of luck with your future, whatever it is you decide to do.